Hello, hello, welcome. Come on in, pull up a seat. If you're new here, my name is Dan, and if you're not, you already knew that. This is not the after action report I was hoping to file. This weekend was a complete and utter disaster, like of an epic scale. Fundamentally, it comes down to the fact that the event organizers did not bother advertising. And I am certain of this for two reasons. Well, three reasons, actually. Two anecdotal and one concrete. One, my daughter, who actually lives within, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes of where the event was being held, talked to everybody that she knew and nobody had heard of it. Second, the event was held at an outlet mall. If you've seen the earlier videos, you'll know that. And most of the people coming through the event had come to shop at the mall and just noticed that something was going on and wandered over. And I know this because they were all carrying bags from the Gap or Eddie Bauer or whatever store they went shopping at before they came wandering over to see us. And third of all, I actually spoke with a woman who is, I don't know, like vice president in charge of marketing or something like that. I'd have to look up her exact credentials again. And she let me know that there was paid promotional opportunities at the outlet mall that the organizers refused to partake in. They refused to pay for them. As a result of all of this, there was maybe a tenth of the people in attendance that was supposedly anticipated to show up. Even the food vendors across from me, who had actually good food and a good truck and great prices, were dead 90% of the time when we were there, even on Saturday. Saturday was marginally better than Sunday. I did make a few sales. I sold a cutting board. One of my pipes I sold, and a few other odds and ends. Passed out a bunch of business cards, made some contacts. I'm kicking myself in the butt right now because my plan had been that if somebody wanted to potentially talk about a custom order, that I would take their name and email address down and I would reach out to them instead of waiting for them to contact me. But in all the hullabaloo, I spaced on that. So fortunately, my fortunes with this whole woodworking project were not riding on this being a success. I can absorb this loss and still carry on, as incredibly frustrating and disappointing and exhausting as it was. But it still feels bad to be out a shitload of money. Anyway, that was this one. The Beef Barn is again doing their event in the fall. That's the first craft show I went to. And that one went spectacularly well for me. I had my entry fee back within half an hour or an hour of the crowd showing up. I was busy the whole time, and I blew through nearly all the inventory I had. So I'm very much looking forward to doing the Beef Barn one again. I think going forward, I'm going to have to be much more discriminating about the craft shows that I sign up to participate in. I think I need to do some more research before I hop on board anything. And as a small consolation for last weekend, there were a bunch of craft vendors there that were way more experienced at this than I am, and they all got hosed as well. They were really, to the last of them, really pissed off at the situation. There were at least 4 vendors that I know of that pulled up stakes on Saturday afternoon and just left. And including me, there were at least 3 vendors that left that weren't coming back on Sunday because we packed everything up completely on Saturday night. So anyway, here we are. I've cleaned the shop. I've packed away all my event stuff. I do need to pull some of the inventory out. As I was getting some of the cutting boards out to sell, I noticed that the bubble wrap had left some, not really discolorations, but when you held it in the light, you could see a difference in the finish. So there's a few pieces that I need to go back and maybe do like a light sanding and a refinish on to get them back up to sellable condition. Other than that, I am going to start working on holiday themed items. So I'm going to do some more pine and fir Christmas trees. I'm going to do Biddle pilgrims, I think. Biddle nativity scenes. I might look to do some Halloween themed stuff. It's in the end of September, so it's a month before Halloween, 2 months before Thanksgiving, and 3 months before Christmas. So that's the goal there. I am going to. I've got a few of these bowl blanks that I made that I was intending to finish for this show and couldn't get to, and it's just as well for a variety of reasons. One, because they wouldn't have sold anyway. Two, because of the way I've made some of these, I don't think this one will be a problem. But the difference in ring size on some of them is so extreme that when I smooth these edges out, this spot, like around here, was paper thin and breaking through in spots. So I'm going to have to see if I can salvage those. I don't know if it'll happen to this one. I think this little one will be okay because the rings are all basically the same size. So this one should be fine. And I'm going to work on getting back to my Woodworking Tools for Beginners series. And I've been kind of mulling that over in the back, letting it sit on the back burner. And I think instead of doing like a long video, I want to do a series of short videos. And it kind of goes back to my whole philosophy around the Woodworking Tools for Beginners, is that what the selection of tools is going to be completely different depending on what kind of woodworking you want to do. If you want to build like picket planters and Adirondack chairs, you're going to need a different set of tools than if you want to do fine furniture or if you want to do woodworking. So, I mean, wood turning. So what tools you're going to look as far as being essential tools goes is going to vary a little bit. I think it would make a lot more sense to do a series of shorter videos about that. And I think I'm actually going to start with the wood turning because that one's really simple. You need a lathe and some carbide tools and you're good to go. As far as like bare minimum tools that you need. So I think I might do that one next because it'll be easy to do. I can basically just do it off the top of my head. And I'm going to need to think and organize my thoughts. There's going to be like, you know, like what I call, I don't know, big box chic, for want of a better term. Projects you can make out of dimensional lumber and cheap goods from Orange and Blue. There's going to be a generalist one, I think, if you're not exactly sure what kind of woodworking you want to do, what tools would be good to get. And there might be some more categories, I think, in there. That's just, yeah, if you want to make like furniture, hardwood furniture, if you want to use rough cut lumber, what are you going to need to get to be able to use that? So I think it would make more sense to break it up in a series like that people can look at shorter videos that are more focused on what their interest is. So hopefully over the next few months, we'll be putting those out. Anyway, that's it for this after action report. I'm going to do a little finishing and a little bit of turning now, I think, to help me relax, because wood turning is definitely a restful activity. You know, unless you bash your fingers, then it becomes a little less restful. But aside from that, it's a pretty restful activity. So thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one, whichever one that is. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.